Suppose the comedy that brought a smile to your face ran for been keeping secrets for a long time that would cause you to lose your words? The worthy young women at first glance appeared to be an ideal combination of warmth, camaraderie, and comedy. Viewed in the shadows, the producers retained a handful covering everything up closely. The cast unexpected changes that nearly occurred, toe-startling choices made behind the scenes and tales of the individual that were never published in on the ground. There's a lot the audience didn't know. Please remain with us to the very end, because the reality of a television icon you could be pleasantly surprised. Presented by reunited long-lost acquaintances, here's an awesome thing that the majority of supporting fans are in the dark. Playing lead roles on There Wasn't Really a Golden Girls new acquaintances as they began toying unison. It was true that they had previously appeared on other television series. Beat before Rue Lanahan and Arthur even spent in the popular show Ma, where they had been acquainted with one another's performs wonderfully. As for Ma, that took place from 1972 and 1978. Arthur portrayed the courageous protagonist. Vivian, her best friend, was portrayed by Lanahan. They collaborated for a total of 6 times a year, which meant they had an abundance of the opportunity to establish a pleasant workplace relationship and gain a mutual understanding of humor timing. On top of that, sufficiently close to Rue Lanahan, in addition to collaborating with Betty White on other presentation known as Mama's Family. This comedy ran during the 80s and featured in her role as the lovely Ellen Harper Jackson. YT as Lanahan portrayed Aunt Fran. Even if they did not appear on the program after spending so much time together, it was a different chance for these brilliant performing artists to collaborate and establish that rapport with your colleagues. So as a group, they gathered for Thane 1985 with the Golden Girls. It was rather feeling more like a get-together with long-lost pals, more being met by an assortment of unfamiliar faces. Foreign, my first attempt. I think this was helpful. Provide an explanation for the reason behind the chemistry they displayed on screen seemed really effortless and natural from Thedo begin. They were able to finish quickly because resolve the issue of cooperation by it was something they had done previously. This is similar like spending time with long-lost acquaintances. It's as easy as picking up where you left off. Turn off. And that is precisely what transpired in the company of these gifted women. Take on Arthur's role was a war veteran prior to becoming Arthur achieved stardom by portraying the towering Dorothy's sardonic Golden Girls segment. Her breakout performance on Ma wasn't even her first. She pursued a whole new line of work that might come as a surprise to you. All through World while serving in World War II, Arthur voluntarily enlisted in the America's Marine Corps. She was an original member of the group the Women's Reserve, a rather large period in question. Yet, this is where the truly most intriguing aspect. It wasn't like she was working as a desk jockey at an office. Not at all. The versatile Arthur had jobs as a typewriter and a military truck driver. Could you think about Dorothy Zborn performing behind Thea in the back of an enormous military vehicle? This isn't easy to conceptualize, but it just serves to demonstrate your strength and competence as Arthur indeed was. It is likely that this encounter contributed to the development of the tough, no-nonsense Seth role that brought her fame down the road. Concern seized Estelle Getty of shooting gory scenes. The White Betty revealed an intriguing fact about her co-author of the book by Estelle Getty titled Should You Inquire With Me? Getty apparently had a profound dread of dying, and it impacted the sequences in which she appeared ready to perform on the program. In his work, Getty's fear of death was so great that the authors needed to exercise extreme caution regarding the content of the scripts. Unfortunately, no jokes were allowed that concerns the afterlife or funerals, such they were too much for Getty to manage in a profound way. Quite ironically, when consider it for a moment, since Sophia was spirited elderly woman who shown no fear of every single thing. However, the performer who portrayed her experienced a genuine and common dread. The producers and writers held her in high esteem emotions and found a way to circumvent this restricting factors, which only demonstrate the scale of preserving their cast was important to them, ease and contentment as they engage in the spectacle. In reality, Estelle Getty came to Bayer daughter from television is younger. I am speaking Aboud is one of those things that totally shocks upon learning the truth. Estelle Getty served as one of the Golden Girls. The diminutive old mother, Sophia Petrillo, had a knack for causing trouble wherever they went, her scathing remarks. Her offspring with B. Arthur starring as Dorothy, regularly threatening to have her sent to the nursing home at Shady Pines. But behold, the untamed portion. Down on Earth, the real Estelle Getty was a whole year younger than Arthur Beowulf. Indeed, Mom had a younger sister than the girl. Owned by Getty, extraordinary acting abilities and the duties of the cosmetics division caused her to seem really senile that no one is paying attention one back home could have predicted. Being a Getty's brilliance is showcased by her was able to portray the role of someone was expected to have lived for many more years than the real age of her. This actor's selection it was effective. However, it did sound funny to precisely because Getty merely personified the role of that persona. The time required to shift Getty into the role of Sophia. Considering that regarding Estelle Getty's appearance indeed was. How about we discuss that truly engaged? All the way through, Getty was in her 60s during the show's run. Still, she had to appear as though she were inch-played Sophia in her 80s. What this meant was that required to devote a substantial amount of time perched on the vanity stool just prior to shot every episode. Makeup artist staged her skin, altered her look, and adorned her with that famous everyone remembers the gray wig. Unfortunately, there's more to come. Becomes considerably more intricate. It is believed, interspersed with the first as well as the show's second season. This is required overtime for the cosmetics department more so, and devote a greater amount of time her face becoming aged due to suddenly appears younger and fresher. It is there those memorable occurrences from the past viewers were able to view Getty with all that anti-aging cosmetics, and without her well-known hairdo, and she appeared rather new, considerably younger, and full of life compared to the well-known Sophia persona cherished with affection. All Sophia was meant to do was occasionally drop by. Whenever the group of artists initially conceived with the concept for the Golden Girls, their lives were drastically schemed for Sophia's persona. In the beginning, people on TV expected her to be considered a regular guest star, which implies that might only make an occasional appearance for unique episodes. We proposed that the feisty mother of Dorothy would be Sophia, who would pay a passing visit, perhaps even drop some sarcasm or wisdom, and then you're out once more. The creators, however, completely undervalued the potential impact on viewers discover a passion for Estelle Getty and her character. At the time of the pilot test episode including sneak peek viewers, Sophia was so successful that its creators rapidly came to the realization that they had aired. Reports from Screen Rant state that had such a profound impact on spectators that without delay, they shifted their focus and become Sophia's go-to-guy character. I am relieved that they did comprehend Olivia Culpo's absence from the Golden Girls quotes and a clutch of condoms in her purse. Betty White was on the verge of executing a new personality. Retain your cheesecake due to the following information being utterly astonishing. During a unique event that took place in 2006 at the Paley Center, Betty White stunned everyone when she dropped a bomb, pleased Golden Girls viewers worldwide. She did made it clear that the initial intention was for with the role of Blanche Devoe. Without a doubt, the seductivous Southern belle who was perpetually chattering regarding the romantic exploits she had. The plan all along was for Rue Lanahan to portray the innocent and kind girl Rosenland hailing from the great North State. Would it even occur to you how changed the course of the show? Rather than Betty White informing those extensive, meandering accounts of St. Olaf, it actually belonged to Rue Lanahan. Moreover, instead who walk around in satin, as Rue Lanahan sexy males, enchanting evening gowns on the lie, Betty would have been the one. All of that was done by White. Along the way, the producers made the decision to change aspects, and it transpired to be the excellent decision. The two actresses ultimately acting out their designated roles and we obtained the legendary characters that familiar with and adore. Equipped with extremely anxious on days of filming. While most people knew Sophia Petrillo for being courageous, self-assured, and fearlessly proclaimed just what the actress had in mind, the actress who played her had difficulty with unnoticeably distinct, severe anxiety when performing in front of an audience. In an interview, Lanahan discussed this speaking with archival materials from the National Television Academy. Getty, she said, was truly a unique individual relying on the current day's date. While the days of preparation and rehearsal, Getty seems to be a laid-back and entertaining person. However, the moment that it became necessary to shoot films alongside live studio audiences listeners, the game shifted. Mount Lanahan alleged that Getty would appear in a pig pen under the shadow of a gloomy cloud, In reference to the Snoopy character from Peanuts, he was forever trailed by filth and dust all over. With an additional poor thing, Mlanahan ended his statement in a compassionate manner. Considerably, it was Getty found it quite challenging to handle that ongoing nervousness, yet she persisted on top of it and sent out a few of the show's most noteworthy performances, her unwavering commitment and competence truly shone. A famous Broadway actor nearly substituted Dorothy for B.A. Arthur performed admirably as Dorothy Zorak. Another renowned actress tried out for the role of Elaine Stretch, who had previously well known for her Broadway performances and triumphed at the Tony and Emmy ceremonies following that, discussed her audition, and she was forthright in her admission that she had utterly ruined it. It was a fantastic text, Stretch remarked, acknowledging that a unique experience was the Golden Girls. After that, she went into detail about what she hottie blew her audition and lost. I blew a several million-dollar worldwide network of affiliates snatching up Babaroni, Smasheroni TV comedic drama titled The Golden Girls. Her demeanor tells it everything that portrayed it, that she was aware she had overlooked miss up on a truly monumental opportunity. Those residual actors' salary is a constant source of income when a show comes on again, would have decided she was set up for life. At the same time, Stretch was managing outstanding skill. It's challenging to comprehend anybody besides Arthur taking part in the game Dorothy. Occasionally, everything falls into place in the correct manner. Rue Mlanahan and I must preserve every one of Blanche's incredible attire. Blanche Devoe possessed a lot of the Golden Girls wore such stunning garments that was constantly donning stunning satin evening gowns, pajamas, and those enormous strong blazers with padded shoulders that were hugely popular in the 80s that was deeply ingrained in her personality, demonstrated her self-assurance, stunning, and unafraid to rock ames. Mlanahan, on the other hand, adored those the same way that fans did with their wardrobes. She had such a deep affection for them that she deliberately included a provision in her contract stating that she was entitled to retain all pieces that Blanche wore following filming. That's correct. Each and every one-off watch she wore on screen became an integral aspect belongings from Mlanahan's private closet. She'd become a hoarder of garments to the point that could not think of a suitable location to keep off them. She had the audacity to turn her entire Manhattan kitchen space into a massive wardrobe in order to shelter her now expanded assortment of clothing. What an amazing benefit of our employment. Simply receive a discount on lunch, but Mlanahan received a very different clothing. The ensemble gave a performance for British The Golden Girls rose to the position of so well-liked that it garnered admirers beyond a view at yesterday. It had admirers all around and beyond, among them a number of well-known figures. The show's biggest admirer was the Elizabeth, Queen Mother of the United Kingdom. She thoroughly enjoyed the show to the point that the whole cast was formally invited by her to visit London and give a concert-adapted screenplay from The Golden Girls for the at Buckingham Palace, the British royal family palace. Betty White, isn't that awesome? Discussed this remarkable event in the course of a 2014 Reddit Q&A session. The way they were provided with a substantial amount of clear directions to avoid communicating with the Queen without first consulting with them. Perched in a box, the Queen Mother during the show, but in the aftermath her way into the stage was accompanied by Princess and will be meeting the actors. The Queen allegedly stated, according to White, as Betty continued, "Lovely pretty girls." All Betty could say was, "Not bad bodies." In fact, rather than taking offense, the Queen, "Oh, no, not at all," he acknowledged while laughing. Unsavory individuals. That's an amazing tale regarding the manner in which the Golden Girls individuals together despite cultural differences and shocked the nobility. Dorothy's enormous all of the earrings were clip-ons. The signature style of Dorothy selected from her assortment of substantial striking dangling earrings in the vast majority of episodes, and they evolved into they are characteristic of her style. Earrings were a key part of what made her unique. They demonstrated her self-assurance and her lack of insecure about being unique. However, this is something the majority of fans were unaware of. Actually, Arthur lacked pierced, that's right. Every single pair of jewelry that Dorothy sported, all clip-ons, were used throughout the entire run. Return to the program at this very moment. Fully aware knowing this, you could find that Theto a new degree. Arthur was compelled to don these clip-on earring styles that last for hours shooting. which was likely not the most pleasant aspect of life. Clipens might become painful and pinching after an extended period of time, although her only gripe was that Arthur never once complained. And it looked great while it worked. It's only a little hidden information that reveals the process of there was a lot of work put into all of them making these cherished characters, served as nearly a fifth roommate in another home. Our beloved Golden Girls included a quartet of protagonists that Miami residents as a group. Al threw in the early episodes. There truthfully a fifth occupant resides there. There was a character in the initial script, the butler known as Coco, who was out as gay. Charles Levin portrayed the role. Coco made an appearance in the premiere, assisting with household chores and engaging in conversations with women. However, when the show got renewed for an additional season, the creators decided to shorten Coco to the fullest. News reports indicate that they were careful not to divert focus to the four primary female characters and their dynamic in tandem. They were of the opinion that a different fixture on the show could detract from the unique qualities of the program. The nature of the bond between these four women who couldn't be more different. The potential to observe the impact of idolizing the fifth character instead. The manufacturer was likely correct at report amongst Blanche, Rose, Dorothy. Furthermore, Sophia was flawless to the point where it may have been ruined by someone else. The characters Rue Lanahan and Betty White existed close buddies for life. It's for this reason this whole Golden Girls thing felt so real, and as some of the friendships were warm existed. Rue Lanahan and Betty White weren't merely posing as buddies on video recorder. They relished the opportunity to together in real life as well. Lanahan at one point made public the fact that White was equally enamored with the world of word games and would pair them up for each and every day in and day out. We had to deal with always off-camera gaming. Regarding the question of whether they were while scenes are being shot, seated in the cosmetics desk, or simply relaxing while engaging in their performance, drew the Estelle Getty targeting certain gags. Callista Petrillo has a reputation for being a bitchy and ready to poke fun at about everything, anything, or everyone. Her inability to keep quiet, and that is the secret to her success. Funny. Estelle Getty, however, was really meticulous and considerate with regard to the jokes that she was prepared to story. Getty Images spoke with laid out her guiding principles. You see, I'm involved with something in pointless suffering. She continued bished light on her intention. She did rejected the opportunity to mock others for they have no say over or ability to alter regarding in their own. What gives you the right to mock someone who is overweight, has a double chin, or guess who's missing a hair? She inquired. According to Getty, comedy should be uplifting, not depressing, and she absolutely refused to join in on the jokes that which inflict harm on those who are particularly susceptible. She did made it clear that she was going to make jokes about gay people, which was fairly throughout that time frame. The Getty realized that although Sophia had the potential arrogant and caustic, a brilliant humor's distinction from savage wit, her character was checked, did not stray from the path indicated by that line. According to this, Getty wasn't merely a stunning actress. Additionally, she possessed human qualities with unwavering values who put her to work use their influence to keep the spectacle running sweet, even when it was joking. To who of the Golden Girls was your favorite? Leave a remark and we will listen.